This is Proof of Proficiency, or POP, Part 1, Students in Action. You will need the following materials before you get started: a printout of the student example script and a blank rubric. Before we dive in, let's take a look at this classroom. In this video, what do you notice about how the students feel about the class?
All right, class, we finished our math lesson. Now we're going to be working on page 32, problems 1 through 56.
Over 50 math problems, all of them are the same.
I wish there was another way we could show our teacher we understand this concept.
Well, boring work, here we come.
Yeah.
Please pause this video to reflect on the question, either aloud with a group or silently by yourself. Now that you've reflected, we can see that students are in a math class. The teacher assigns many of the same type of problems to work on to show proficiency. Students are bored and disengaged in the activity. Participants will be able to review a student sample of a POP script and evaluate a student sample of a POP using the rubric. Let's watch Navigator students work on a POP in math class. To give some context, students are discussing common misunderstandings of a standard. When you watch this video, look for what is the engagement level of the students and how are they showing proficiency.
Maybe if they're like multiplying the positive and the negative, maybe the negative
probably
maybe the positive will be like bigger, so they'll think that the number will be positive.
Oh, they mix it up with adding. Oh yeah, they mix it up. That's what I said. They mix it up with adding and subtracting.
They mix up multiplying both numbers and adding.
So they mix the rules for subtracting and adding together.
Please pause this video to reflect on the questions, either aloud with a group or silently by yourself. Now that you've had a chance to reflect, we can see that each student is participating and engaged in the conversation. When students agree on an answer, they wrote it down on their script. Students are showing proficiency by deep diving in the standard and discussing the content. If students are able to discuss misunderstandings, then they must really know the content. Now let's see an example in a science and English class. When you watch these videos, think about how are students working collaboratively and what is their engagement level.
Use two examples. See these two examples. Look, well, in Australia they call it pigeons. But like Mr. Cow used dialogue to write the story. Well, that's nice. So the thing was you do have your so then what? So for this one, yes, this one, yes, right here. No, this is your citation slide. Yeah, that's explanation. And then this over here, just over this part right here. This is your race and answer, and then this is because what she said is to follow the. Oh yeah. So this would like this is I did it right. I have to go find Dylan. Like this part wrong. Is like the question. This is your answer. Then your citation and explanation. My name. I'll do that.
I'll do that one.
And then you can say from Navigator School.
I'll do this. Yeah. Hi, we are Orlando,
Nicole, Jason.
from Navigator Schools. In this video, you will learn about the characteristic properties of matter.
Okay. So, that's right, slide 2.
Then we can do the second.
Second one is my slide.
So, hold on.
No.
Yeah, I know, but you need to do this.
Slide, so your challenge is...
Are you ready?
Which is...
I read your explanation, and that's the right kind of... Oh, so, in the example it said you could include like things like some of the physical properties that stay the same no matter what is like the color. and its boiling point.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
you may want to add that in there.
So, for example, imagine water's in a bucket.
Yeah, that's fine. Then your explanations you can
the
add
water is the same, so that proves the water is the same.
because
and
or like because whatever.
And the color.
Include no, you can say including. Its color and its boiling point.
Same. Including, I'll make an arrow.
Okay.
Including the color. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because before it's kind of just saying the same.
So now I'll say that it doesn't matter what is in, and that proves that the substance will always be the same.
Yeah, because
No matter, no matter.
Please pause this video to reflect on the questions either aloud with a group or silently by yourself. Now that you've reflected, we see that students are working closely and asking each other for clarification. They are all involved and highly engaged in writing the script. What are the benefits of students working on content in this manner? Please pause this video to discuss with a group or silently reflect. This is important because when students are engaged, they will master the content faster. Collaboration builds verbal and listening skills, and students were working as a team. So we've come to our core idea. Proof of proficiencies increase student engagement, incorporate collaboration among students, build research skills, and show content proficiency. When teaching POPs to your students, there are a few things that are helpful to know. First, you want to show your students the script and rubric so they know what is expected of them. You also want to show an exemplar. The see it is powerful for understanding. Finally, have your class discuss glows and grows. What did the exemplar do really well? And what could have been improved? Even an exemplar can improve in some way. This promotes the culture of continuous improvement. It's time to practice evaluating student work. Please take a moment to look through the student sample script and discuss what you see with the group. Now that you've had a chance to look through a student's script, please have the rubric in front of you. As a group, you will watch the student POP and evaluate the work using the rubric. Use the rubric and pause the video periodically if needed to grade the student video.
I am Daisy from Navigator Schools. In this video, you will learn how to add and subtract fractions and word problems. You will need to know a few academic vocabulary words to help you understand the standard. Common denominator is a shared multiple of the denominators of several fractions. Simplify. Make your answer smaller if possible. Fractions. A fraction is a number between 0 and 1 and is expressed as one number over the other. Numerator. The top number in a fraction shows how many parts we have. Denominator. The bottom number in a fraction shows how many equal parts the item is divided into. Some common mistakes are that people add the denominators and people add with unlike denominators. Let's start out by solving a simple problem. Sally has 3/4 of a cake and she gives 1/3 to her friends. How much does she have left over? The first step to solve this problem is to find the common denominators of 4 and 3. And it is 12. So now we have to multiply 3/4 to get to 12. 4 times 3 is 12. And 3 times 3 is 9. We also do 1/3 times something to get to 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4. So our new equations are 9/12 and 4/12. Then you subtract 9/12 and 4/12, which is 5/12. So 5/12 is your last and final answer. Now let's do a harder problem. If Katie uses 2 1/2 of a cup to make 5 cupcakes, how many cups does she use if she made 6 cupcakes? The first step to solve this problem is to do 2 and 1/2 plus 1/2. Because 6 is only one number more than 5. And 2 is your denominator. So 2 and 1/2 plus 1/2 is 3 wholes. Your final answer is 3 cups. And that is how you add and subtract fractions and word problems. Thanks for watching.
Please pause to discuss with your group the grade you gave for each section of the rubric. Here is how I graded this student's pop. Her introduction was good, but was missing the standard introduction, so I gave it a 3. The student used academic vocabulary, but no pictures were used to represent the words, so I had to give a 2. Her real-world problem was rigorous and relevant to a viewer, so she earned a 4 for that section. The student also highlighted key words, key numbers, and used the correct operation to solve the problem, so she earned another 4. I also felt her steps to solve were pretty clear, so she earned a 3. The next section is where she could have improved the most. There were no visual models throughout the entire pop. This brought her score for this section down to a 1. Her conclusion clearly restated her objective, so I gave her a 3. For the design, I felt like the student rushed a bit through her second example problem and didn't fully explain it, making her video seem a bit short. That's why I gave a grade of 3 for that section. Finally, since the student worked on this pop by herself, there was no grade for partnership. Out of 8 sections, she received an average score of 2.8, which is just below proficient level. Overall, she did pretty well, especially since this was the student's first production. However, if this was my student, I would discuss the importance of showing a visual model to help explain the standard. This would have boosted her grade to at least an average of 3, which is proficient. How did your scoring compare to mine? We've come to our final reflection. Please pause this video to complete the partial multi-flow map. The event is, students research their standard and create pops. What would the effects be? Thank you for watching the Proof of Proficiency, Part 1, Professional Development.